name is Sarah, and this is my Flosstube Sarah Stitches. Today is Saturday, April 19th. I hope everybody is doing well, and I just thank you so much for, whenever it is that you tune in to watch my video. I really appreciate it. There are lots of good floss tubes, and I have ran across several new ones now that I have really enjoyed watching. So I just really appreciate you taking time to watch mine, and also for all your positive feedback and comments. I feel like I've been lucky with, very lucky with Flosstube. I've had a few negative, but nothing really ugly. So I feel very fortunate. I've heard other floss tubers, and of course I watch other videos on YouTube that are not cross stitch related, and they've made several comments about some of their ugly comments. So I feel very fortunate not to have had a lot of hateful, ugly comments. So I really have appreciated that. But I just want to welcome you. If you are new here, I am from Arkansas, and this is primarily cross stitch. I do at the end of mine have a book talk, and I do have several books to talk about this time. And I think I'm going to talk about some programming that I have been watching that I have enjoyed. So I hope you tune in for that. So today I feel like it's going to be kind of a longer video. It's been about 2.5 months since I filmed, I believe. And so I have got quite a haul. And I've also got a thrifting haul. I have really gotten into that, and I love to go thrifting. I don't go very often, but I do enjoy it. I do have just a haul from cross stitch, and I've got several whips and FFOs. So I think I will start with my, also my ring light has gone out. So I hope the lighting, I've got my blinds open back here. So in this room's kind of naturally dark anyway, but my husband did change the light bulbs in the light fixtures. But so I do have the blind open, and I think that is helping. The sun, it's been really cloudy this morning. It's early, it's like 9 o'clock here. I really was trying to get this filmed at 8. I have several things I want to do around my house today. I was off yesterday for Good Friday, and so me and my husband went to Lowe's, and we got some flowers and things for our yard, and spent most of the morning planting those, and keeping my fingers crossed I don't kill them. I got another hydrangea and an azalea bush for my front yard. I have one azalea and one hydrangea that do really well. I have tried to plant some other azaleas and hydrangeas, but one of them kind of died out. But this year, my hydrangea, it's coming back. So we went and bought a bigger, more sturdy bush, and I planted it, and then I dug up that other one and I put it in a pot, hoping that maybe that will get it going better, because I was surprised how well it came back this year. So I thought, well, let me actually replant it in a pot, and maybe that will help. And then my azaleas, I don't know. I feel like one of them is planted in an area that it gets what it needs, and I think the others, I thought it's right beside it, so I'm thinking it's going to do well too, but it died out. So. But I will say this, I bought it on the clearance rack at Lowe's last year at the end of the season. It was dying, but it wasn't quite dead. So maybe that's why. Maybe it was more dead than what I realized. I don't know. But anyway, I am not a green thumb. But we bought some plants for our backyard, and we had to put some fencing. We're going to try this, because I have 4 male dogs. I have 4 dogs. 3 are male and 1 is a female. And they mark their territory all over my plants when I plant them back there. And very frustrating. And so we've tried things and it didn't work. So we've bought they had some like little white picket looking fencing at Lowe's. So we bought that because it's big enough to keep them out. But I think it's going to work where the plant you know, the plants will get big enough to, you can see them. So, so we're keeping our fingers crossed about that. Yeah, they will. When my female peas in the backyard, when she goes to the bathroom, they just line up behind her, waiting to pee, to mark their territory. It's like, we just get to, you know, it's like, there they sit, waiting their turn. And so they have actually peed on her once, and I had to get a baby wipe. Well, more than once, but this time I saw it. I had to get a baby wipe and wipe her off. And so, yeah, they just, I got two that are really bad about it. So, but yeah, that was a good day. My son brought his baby over. My son has to work Easter, but so his wife and Joseph are going to her family's house for Easter. So he brought him over yesterday afternoon after his nap, and I was able to give him his Easter basket. And then my daughter brought her son over just to come over. But so I ended up, I had to give him his too. And so, but I got them because they're almost 2. And you know, it's kind of hard to find Easter basket stuff for 2-year-olds because they're not big enough for a lot of the candies and all that, a lot of those things. But I did find that they love bubbles. So I did find these little handheld bubble machine things at Walmart, and they loved them. And they were able to push the button and make the bubbles go, but they held it backwards where the bubbles would go in their face. And it was so, we tried to turn it around, but I think they could use their thumb better with it facing them. And so, but one of them did get the hang of blowing it the other way. And we just bought their snacks that they like. They love these little juice, I don't know what they're called, but Good to Grow or something like that. But we get them at Walmart or Dollar General, but they're kind of pricey. But the juice is no sugar added to it. And so they've got little character caps on them. But once you take the inner foil lining out, they can drink out of it too. And so we have several here that actually I kept, and then I bought some other juice that's sugar-free to put in it to, you know, keep from, because they're like $3 and something a bottle. But we bought them each a couple of those for their baskets and just their snacks that they love. And so that was their Easter basket. We're not quite at that stage where they dye eggs or anything like that. So, so that's what I did for their Easter basket. So it was a good day yesterday. So today I've got several things around my house that I want to get done. I don't have any plans to go anywhere. My husband's in a fishing tournament, so it's nice and quiet. So I thought, well, let me get another Flosstube filmed. I actually filmed one about 2 weeks ago, and I never got it loaded. And so I thought, well, let's just redo it because I've had a couple things come in, and I've worked on some more stuff since. So I thought, let me refilm it and get this one loaded. And I really wanted to start filming it like at 8, but it's 9, and so it's fine. It's still early enough that I'll have plenty of time to get what I want to do done. So I will start first with my FFOs, and I've got several, but the first one I want to show is one that's a couple years old, but to me, the true meaning, now we love the baskets, the Easter baskets and the bunnies and the candy, don't get me wrong, but the true meaning to us, we celebrate Easter is the resurrection of Christ. And so I had stitched this a couple years ago, and I just love it. And so I display it every year because to me, this is the true meaning of Easter. And it's He is Risen is the name of the chart. I will try to remember where I've got, it's an Etsy store. And I changed it up. I changed how it looks. But this is just a piece of 18 count fabric, I believe. Yes. And I actually dyed it myself. And so, and it was, I thought, worked perfect for it. And I changed all the colors. I can't remember what it was originally charted in, but I love how it turned out. So I always put this out every year. And then I've got some more inspirational ones. Sweet Wing Studio, she put out a freebie that is, and I didn't stitch it, but I mean, I'm going to try to get it done this year. But I'm debating, this is it. And so I might do it all in primitive colors, or I just might do the cross in the center. But I definitely want to get that one. And I think I will start this one tomorrow since it's Easter. So I will start that one tomorrow. But I've just always loved this one. And this was a frame that I had at my house that I just kind of, distressed. And so I really think it just turned out so pretty. So that's a couple years old. Now my first FFO I'm going to show you, and it is it's a Easter FFO. It's, spring, is from, I just had here it is, right in front of me. It's from Brenda Gervais, and it's Easter Peak Parade. Now, this is several years old. I've had this one for a while, and I finally pulled it out and got it stitched. Now, mine's going to look different. At the time, I didn't have any dark fabric. I do have a piece now, but also I've got some ordered. I'm really liking some of these darker fabrics with the, I don't know, I just, some things I've seen that I want to use on darker fabric. But this is my finish. I used 18 Count Dove by Color and Cotton, and I just pulled kind of similar colors, but that would work on this fabric. I really like this fabric. I've got a couple more projects going on it. I think it's very pretty. It's just a nice neutral. And you can't tell, but it doesn't show up, but you can tell it right there. There's some pink in that and down there, but it's hard to see. But yeah, this is my finish. I just made it into this pillow. And this is my back. I said I was going to put some embellishments in the year, but I haven't done it yet. I need to do it though before I put it up. This will stay out the rest of April. But I was trying to make this pillow flat. And I think I just didn't do a good job stuffing it to make it flat. Because see that, I kind of got it. But I think I'm so critical of my stuff. But I had watched some Flosstubers a couple of weeks ago. I was home. I missed a couple of days of work because of my back. And so I'd watched a lot of Flosstube during that time. And one of the ladies I watched has stitched the salt box houses from Pinker and Pumpkin. That's a blog that she has lots of freebies, lots of cute ones. But they have stitched several. She has a lot of salt box houses for free. So she has stitched a lot of them. But she made them into pillows. But they were flat. They were really thin. And that was my goal. But I think I need cotton batting for that. This is fiberfill. And it just doesn't get as flat as I wanted it. So I'm going to order me some cotton batting and see if that does a better job. But I still like it. I think it turned out really cute. This is I just put yellow rickrack around it. But one thing I am proud about, I had gone to a class at the Shepherd's Needle, and I'll show that piece in just a minute. But we were joking with the instructor, kind of joking, but not really joking, about they need to do more finishing classes. And I had said, yes, I would love for you to do a finishing class on how to sew pillows, because my corners get real pointy. I mean, like super pointy. And so, I mean, you could poke out an eye with them sometimes, I feel like, because they're so pointy. But she gave me a tip, and it was to sew them in a diagonal instead of like your 90-degree angle. I guess it's a 90-degree. I don't know. But sew them in a diagonal. And I did that with this one, and I think it really helped. I think it really worked. I really like the corners a lot better. So I was very happy with that. So, and I think it's just so cute. I've always loved this chart. I have seen some other Flosstubers stitch it. And so I'm happy to have it done. So So that's that one. Now I'll show my biscornu, that my finishing class that I went to. It was in, I think it was originally supposed to have been in February, but we had some winter weather come through. Yeah, we've just had some crazy weather here in Arkansas. But that particular time, it was winter weather. And it was more so Little Rock than my area. And they were just, out of safety concerns, they rescheduled it, I believe, to the 1st of March. I hope I'm right. But I had signed up for a biscornu class. And we stitched from Summer House Stitch Works Coverlet Biscornu. And when I signed up for it, it included the kit. So they had kitted it up for me. And I used all the call for. It's Weeks Style Works Cayenne and Twilight are the flosses. And then it's stitched on 32 count Alicot from Needle and Flax. And this is my little biscornu. And I think it turned out so cute. And y'all, these are not, I was always a little intimidated by them. And of course, that's why I signed up for the class. But there's really no need to be. It's all hand stitched. And I think it's something that you could do. You could put this together as you watch TV. The best tip I came out of it with is your back stitch. You cannot do it too tight. And you can tell on some of mine, I had done it right through here. It was too tight. And I had a hard time connecting the two. Because what it is you stitch a perfectly square, 2 pieces, just the same. And you put a back stitch around them. And then you line up the back stitch and you connect, you take your needle through them and you sew it together. And then it's because you line up a corner to a straight edge, I believe. And then you get, at the end, you get the biscornu. See, like this side right here, you can tell my tension was pretty good. But right here, my tension really was bad. So I can just put this side like this right here, and nobody's gonna know the difference. But to be my first biscornu, I think I did really good. And so now, I definitely want to make some more biscornus. It was a lot of fun. But they are a little time consuming, I'll say that. But, I think it's like anything, the more you do it, the faster you'll get at it. And so, but yeah, I can leave this out all summer, but I will put it out in my, probably Memorial Days when I'll put it out. So that was my first biscornu. So I was real thrilled with that. And it was such a fun class. A lady by the name of Mary taught the class. And we had a really good time. And, of course, I shot. But I hope if anybody's from the Shepherd's Needle is watching, I really hope y'all do have some more finishing classes. I would sign up for them for sure. So they also served us lunch. And so that was very nice. It was just a fun day. And so my next 2 I have are ornaments that I finished. The first one is out of the 12 Days of Christmas Stockings by Annie B's Folk Art. And I stitched the first day. And so this is my finish. And this was my first time making cording. And so I think it turned out really good. I will say this, the first cording I made, for some reason I had in my head that it was red and white cording. But yeah, that was the easiest one to make because I think when it's 2 separate colors like that, you can see how it's twisting together. Much easier than with one color. And if it would have looked good, I would have used it. Now I have saved it for other projects. But when I put it on here, I just didn't like it. So I went back and took 2 tries to get the single color cording. But I think it turned out really good. Now I messed up with the trimming of my fabric down here. So my stocking's a little shorter than what it's supposed to be. But I think it looks just fine. And it won't bother me at all that the others might be longer. So that won't bother me. and I just a plain backing, red backing fabric. And I just made the tie with the cording. And this is on 14 count black Aida. And so with the call for beads and floss. So now I just got to get started on day 2. So, and then my other ornament I finished is from Kathy Hoverman, Hands On Designs, and it was called Belle of the Ball or Christmas, because it might be Belle of the Ball. It was put out originally in the ornament book. That's how I have it, in the ornament book from the first Jingle Ball. And so, but I think she has since then released it. But this is my finish. I stitched it on 16 count dusk by Picture This Plus. And I used some of my leftover cording for the hanger. Now my finish looks a little different. I originally was finishing it like Kathy Hoverman did she had put 2 pieces on the stitched part and the fabric part on mounting board and had cut it. And you do, on her website, you get the diagram of the bell. You print it out. And so she does give you that. And so I had gone and cut it out and traced out my backing pieces and had done them up, but I did not squish them together hard enough. I didn't put enough books. They just weren't flat enough together. So it kind of was more of a gap in it than what I liked. And so I thought, well, I'll put some chenille trim. Well, I did not like the chenille trim, and I left it on there for a little while because, sometimes if you just kind of leave things, let it grow on you, basically. You see how you like it in a few days. And it didn't grow on me. Matter of fact, it didn't grow on me at all. I didn't like it even more. So I took them apart. Well, some of the chenille stuck to the fabric and everything. So I had to fussy cut. I used my picking shears. Well, I was on a Zoom with Sandy. My friend Sandy with Stitching with Sandy does a Zoom twice a month. And we were talking about this finish. And so I went and got, just because all I had at that point was this stitched part. And I was like, I don't really know what I want to do with it now. I don't know. And I knew I didn't want to restitch it. And so Karen, the Stitching Owl, she was on there that day. And she's the one that suggested just to put felt on the back. And so I think it turned out I really like how it turned out. That was a very good suggestion. Just a simple finish. And so, for some reason, my brain wasn't going there. So yeah, so this is it. And it just has felt on the back. And so, yeah, I think it turned out really good. This is with the Call For color and cotton threads. And so, and it's stitched 16 count. So I used 2 strands of floss with this. So now with this one here as 18 count, I only used 1 strand of floss. And so those are my finishes. So now I will move on to my, what I've been working on. And y'all, I decided at the 1st of April, the monthly magazine group on Facebook, I'm a member of them. I used to do their acrostics quite often back when I wasn't working. But now that, I'm back at work and I've got the 2 grandbabies that take up a lot of my time, I haven't been doing any challenges. And so I decided, because, I watch all these Flosstubers that do challenges, and they really do seem to get a lot of progress made that way. So I decided, they were doing something, doing their Spring Go. And it works a lot like Whip Go, except instead of Whip Go, you use the word Spring Go. And so what I did was, for every letter, I assigned 1 project. And then I made my bingo board with numbers. And so I only have 7 projects that I'm working on. And so and so far I've stuck to it. I've really had to make myself, though, because now on the weekends it was fine. It's fine. And then when I was home down in my back because, you know, those days I can stitch on the assignment piece that morning, and then I'm free for the rest of the day or the evening to stitch on whatever I feel like. And so, but during the week, you know, some nights, there's been 3 nights that I haven't stitched at all. And a couple of nights, I didn't start stitching until 8 o'clock, 8:30. Well, I start getting ready for bed about 9:30. And so it's about, what, an hour's worth of stitching. So, you know, it's not just a whole lot done. But so far, I have enjoyed it, and I am seeing some progress. But what I did is I took pictures of my, everyone, when they were called, if I had not worked on them, I took a picture at the beginning. And so I will take ending pictures. And so I think that will be fun to see exactly how much I got done. Now, I'm not posting in the group or things like that. This is just kind of for me. But, so I have kind of enjoyed keeping up with that, and it is going to be fun to see the progress. So I have, this is how I do it. For day 1, for my number that was called, it was North Pole by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And, okay, my nose was, okay, I'm back. My nose was running, and I needed to go get some tissue. Okay, so for the first day was Primrose Cottage, North Pole, what was called. And I have stitched a total of I've stitched it once, 1, 2, 3 times, because I believe one of the days that I didn't stitch it might have been called. I'm not sure. But yeah, I have one project I haven't touched at all because one of the days I didn't stitch, it was called, and then that number hasn't been called. The numbers I had assigned with it haven't been called at all. So I got a feeling here in a couple of weeks I'll be stitching on it every day. But this is my progress. And this is stitched on a 28 count Lugana. I think it's a taupe, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. But this is all the called for flosses. I did buy the thread pack. And so, and it's 2/2. And so, this is where I'm at. And now I will say, when I started stitching this, the only thing I had, of course, all the top part done. And I had this part, this little tree and present back. That was all done. Except for the bottom down here. This was not done. I had just stopped at the present, And so, I have since then filled in this bottom part, this part, and this part were all done. And then I've started on the engine of the train. So I have made quite a bit of progress. Now this was called this morning. So I've stitched on it for a little while this morning until, one of my dogs, I think I've talked about it before, he loves to play fetch. And he has like an internal alarm clock because he does it to me in the evenings, but also in the mornings. I know when it's close to 8 o'clock in the morning, if I get it, because I don't sleep late. I used to be one of these people that slept late and could stay up later and slept late, but not anymore. And so I knew it was close to 8 as here he comes. He's whining, pacing the floors, sitting in front of me, just staring. He will just sit and stare at me and then do that low whine. And so I knew it was close to 8 o'clock. And I was like, well, I need to stop anyway because I want to start getting some stuff done. So, but yeah, he's like my alarm clock. Okay, so that was that. And I feel like I got a lot of progress done. And actually, it's probably going to be called 2 more times before this is over. Now, my day 2 was called Santa Stops Here was called. And I've stitched on it a total of, so far, 1, 2, no. Well, one day it was called I didn't stitch because maybe it's 4 days I haven't stitched now. I think it is. I think it's 4 days I haven't stitched. So it's been called a total of 3 times, but one time I didn't stitch that day. So let me find it. I should have put these in order, but I didn't. I should have showed, here, let me show it real quick. I can show this. I should have showed what this chart looks like. A lot of you probably, if you watch a lot of Flosstube, you probably saw this a couple years ago. That's what it looks like all stitched all together. Oh, and one thing I did want to point out, let me grab this back. There is an error in the chart because if you notice here, I don't know if you can tell it, but it's a plaid look and then it's got snow. Well, the chart just has it all in green. So they did send out a correction and I did get the correction. And so that's why this is it. So I kind of had, but the correction I have did not have the snow on the top. So I just kind of fixed it in because I liked the snow on the top of the engine. But I do want to point that out. Just be aware of it. I don't know if they probably have the correction, and it might be in the new charts now. It might be corrected. I don't know. I got this when it first came out. And they did, I think it was on Instagram. I don't know where anyway, I got a picture of it, and so I just wanted to point that out, though. Okay, so now is Santa Stops Here, and this is by Brenda Gervais. And I tried to get some of my bigger pieces in here and with this Springo, and some that I really don't touch a lot, like the North Pole. I really enjoy stitching it. I don't stitch a lot on 28 count anymore, and it's very easy to me, and I feel like it goes pretty fast. So I did try to put some in here that I just haven't worked on a whole lot. But this is Santa Stops Here, and I'm using all the call for floss and the fabric, which is R&R by, it's Winter Brew by R&R. And this is my progress. Y'all, I don't like much getting the house done. That's where I'm at. There we go. Yeah, I don't iron my fabric before I show it, so. And I'm thinking about making me a board to show pieces on, because sometimes it is kind of cumbersome when I have to show them. But that's where I'm at. I got a lot of the brickwork done with the days it was called. So I don't like much more on the house. So I'm excited. I'm kind of tired of stitching bricks, but I want to finish the house first and then move on I need to work some more on the border, get some of it done. There's still a lot left. So that's that one. Okay. So the third day was the Christmas Tide Sampler by Hands On Designs. Now this one wasn't exclusive through Homespun Needleworks, and you bought the chart through the Shepherd's Needle. They do it, I think Homespun Needleworks, I don't know how often, if it's once a year or twice a year, but they do exclusives with shops and designers. And so this came completely kitted up, and this is it. I got all the backing pieces, even the batting, even the small, enough fabric and floss for the small, even the backing piece for the little ornament here. So I got everything in it. And this is stitched on 16. Well, it's 32 count charcoal linen. Is what it's stitched on. And I think it is so pretty. But y'all, let me put this behind it so you can see. Here, let me make that a little neater. Those wreaths, I feel like the hardest part's done. Those wreaths took a while. So I have now moved, I started in the middle, which I'm usually not a middle stitcher, but I just was scared I started the wrong place and not have enough fabric, because it is cut specifically for this. So I have started on the little deer. I think it is so pretty. There was a stitch along with this, and a lot of people have finished it. So, but that's where I'm at. Let's see, I think this one's been called 1 2 or 3 times. Because when I started this one, I only had 2 wreaths done. I had 2 wreaths completely done and was almost done with this one. So I finished all that middle section and have moved down to the lower section. So, I don't know. Those wreaths just gave me problems. I had to do a lot of frogging with it. And, yeah, it was to me, they were not that was not the easy part. Okay, now I've got Liberty Lodge, and it was actually called the 4th day. And so, and this is by Plum Street Samplers. And I believe it's an older chart. I had it for a while, but this is it. And it's much smaller than what you think. I'm stitching this on 18 count Heritage. But I don't know who I lost my sticker. So I don't know. Oh, it is the call for. Let me see. I ended up buying the call for fabric. I thought I liked the call for. Let's see. Well, oh, here it is. Heritage. Oh, it doesn't say. It just says, Picture This Plus Heritage. And I'm doing it on 18 count with 1 strand of floss. And this is where I'm at. I know I showed it one other time when I was talking about my mistake. I went ahead and frogged it and took it out. And if I don't have another mistake, when I counted down for this flag, I didn't account for this dark line of stitching. So I started that flag one up. So it's still off, but I think with the way it's off, it's going to be, it's going to be fine. And I don't think at this point I'm going to go back and put that black line in because it's a black line of floss. But that's it. That's where I'm at. I'm about done with the roof on the house. This one's been called, because it's a week. You get basically a week worth of stitching with each one, maybe. So this one's only been called two times. This one's only been called 2 times. For me, when I don't know if it was one of those. It could have been called a couple of times that I didn't stitch. Oh, the sun's going to come out. It's kind of overcast. Sun will come out, then it gets cloudy. Now, on Easter tomorrow, we're supposed to get a lot of rain, I believe. All right, now, let's see. The next one that I've worked on in here is Honey of a Honeytown by Heart and Hand. Let's see, which one is it in? Here it is. This is what it looks like. And I'm stitching it all the call for. I know I saw some people change it up to the colors that Primrose Cottage uses with their bee projects. But I thought this was pretty. So I just left it. And this is just on a scrap piece of 32 count that I had. It's just a neutral color. And this is where I'm at. Before I started it, I had the sunflowers done. So I've done the house. So I got to put another sunflower right there, and then we'll move on. But I think I'm completely finished, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I got to put the little lights in the window up there. But yeah, the house is done. So that's it. This is going to be so cute when it's finished. So I'm hoping this one will get called a few more times. All right, let me see. I just got a text. Okay, now, let's see. After that, I didn't stitch for a few days. Okay. Every Opening Flower by Brenda Gervais has been called a few times. I've had fun doing this. And I might try some back to the cross sticks. I have enjoyed it. I will say that. Now, before I took this position I'm at now with the school, when I had summers off, I would probably really do this during the summer. But I'm a year-round employee now, and so that kind of takes that out. But this is so pretty. I just love this one, and I need to hurry up and get it done. And this is it. And this is all call for fabric and everything. I kitted it up at my LNS, which is the shepherd's needle. Oh, I meant to say at the beginning of my Flosstube, I'm going to have a giveaway at the end, so stay tuned to the end. Honestly, I did mean to say that at the beginning, and it just slipped my mind. But this is where I'm at. I've got a page finished, moved on to the second page, and really I've just been concentrating on this border part up here. This was one of those nights. One night I didn't start stitching till like 8:30. So there was not a lot done. But I have worked on this since I've last had my Flosstube. So I'll show the whole thing because like I said, I am on a second page now. So that's where I'm at all total. I love this. It is so pretty. I need to keep it out to work on it, even after this challenge. Okay. That is everything with them. Now, I did put Lizzie Kate's Halloween Rules on here, but I haven't stitched on it yet. It has not been called, and it wasn't called for today. Now, is it Carolyn Zook? She's the one that is the admin on Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge Facebook page. Every evening, I guess, I don't know, I usually look around 9 or 9:30, and she has posted the next days. And so I can't tell you what time she puts it up. I just know when I look at those times, it's up. So who knows? Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to, but to stitch on it because I'll be able to stitch on a couple things tomorrow. So, but that is all that as far as the Spring Go Challenge that I've worked on. And like I said, I've enjoyed it. I really have. And so I've got a few more things that I had worked on before I started that. And that I've made some progress on. And the first one there's no order to these, is Needle Treasure Nook Stars, Stripes, and Strawberries. I started this with my friend Sandy, but she's finished it, of course. So, but I don't like much. I really don't. And this is just on a 32 count scrap that I had. And I just pulled flosses that were similar. And this is where I'm at. I think it's going to be so pretty. I really just need the USA in it. I think I've got one more. There's a strawberry over here, off of here, and another blue flower. And then some leaves, and that's it. I could probably, depending on in the evening or after, how long I stitch, I could either get this done in 1 or 2 sittings. So, and I do have something thrifting that I want to put this on. So, and I think it will work really good. So I really want to get this finished before 4th of July, patriotic. Okay. Now, this one here was, I went to the Nash Stash. Lindy Stitches put it on. It was very similar to the Jingle Ball. I called it kind of a laid-back version. There was not any shopping. They did give a free chart out. And they had several designers that had chats. You could, they had times that they would be on chatting. And there was like 2 that was chat together. and answer questions. She also did a tips, what does she call it? A tips and something parade where people could talk about some of their tips and I guess notions and things that they use for cross stitch, and that was very interesting. And then she also did a because kind of the reason why well, not I don't know, but this one was kind of advertised to start something that you got from Nashville Market. And so with this cookbook, she also did a recipe parade for anybody that wanted to talk about any recipes that they have tried in this and what they thought of them. Now, I did not get on and do that, but I did make Kathy Haverman's crustless quiche, and it was very good. It's very simple. You can just kind of make it your own, put whatever you like in it. I did the vegetable version, but you could also put meat, ham and sausage, whatever in it. And it was very good. I will definitely be making it again. I like to kind of make those up some for during the week because that makes a quick breakfast for me in the mornings. I can just heat it up and eat it, and I don't have to really cook breakfast because I don't get up in time to eat a lot of mornings. Sometimes my breakfast consists of peanut butter crackers. So it depends on how late I'm running. But I did start out of this book, and one of my other starts is a new start that I started that weekend. But one of my starts, I buy these cookbooks every year. Well, for the last couple of years, maybe three. I've got three. And I've never stitched anything in them. So I thought, okay, I'm going to stitch something out of it. So I looked through them all, and I started, it's called Spring Berry Bowl by Teresa Kogut, and it is in this year's cookbook. And that's it. I thought that was really pretty. So I'm stitching this on just some flosses that I had that were similar or I thought would look pretty. And 18 count dove. And I'm stitching this one over with one strand of floss. And I don't like much finishing it. Isn't that pretty? I actually worked on this last night some. I got some of the vase done. The potter, the planner done. And so I've got to finish the planner and put the leaves and flowers around the border. And that will be it. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I think it looks really pretty. I like the colors that I've chosen. I have to keep the cookbook with it. I can't tell y'all how many times I have lost this cookbook. I had to search for it. So I've started keeping the cookbook in the project bag now. All right, let's see. Since we were talking about that, let me get my other start. I started also, and it was one that I got from Nashville Market. I bought a few things. I did not go nuts, though. I didn't go crazy. But I did buy Summer Trio Pillow by Brenda Gervais. And I started the middle pillow, the Hello Summer pillow. I don't have a whole lot done on it, but I'm just using floss that I have that's similar, that will work. And this is on a 36 count, what is this called? It's a piece that I was using to stitch my Scarlet animal cracker on. I cut some of it off because I thought this would work really good. And this is 40 count. I take that back. I'm stitching this on 40 count. Tycho by Picture This Plus is what it is. I was thinking it was 36, but it's 40. And this is my, how's that supposed to go? I gotta mark it. I need to mark it. This is the way it goes. That's it. That's all I got done. But I definitely, I want to stitch them all. I think they're all so cute. So pretty. But that's it. And I think, let's see, did I end up mostly doing? It's a mix of DMC mostly DMC though. There is a few overdyes, but I have a lot of DMC pulled for this one. Okay, those were the two that I started for Nash Stash. Okay. Let's see, that's a new start. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, I don't think this is anything. No, this is not anything. But I want to leave it out because I want to work on it. But I haven't worked on that. Okay, I think... Oh, I have worked some on This Is the Day by Plum Street Samplers. Because all the others are going to be kind of new starts. Where's my cover page? Oh, here it is. Now, I have all the called for floss, but I'm just using a, it was an off-white linen that I had that I kind of coffee tea dyed over it. But this is the chart. And I've just really made some progress on the house. I don't even know, I know it's not going to look like it, but I have added quite a bit of bricks. These bricks on both those houses are slow going. Even though you stitch a lot on them, you just really can't tell. But yeah, I did add the other windows. I've got all the windows and the door in also. So now it's just the brick, and then I'll have to go in and put the mortar in. And so, so that's it. Still a long ways to go on this one too. I just don't, you know, some of y'all just are so fast. I'm amazed at the progress that people will show on these big charts. And then they'll show them like in one floss tube and they're not even halfway done. And then the next floss tube, they're completely finished and have it FFO'd. And I'm just like, how in the world did you do that? Y'all, I need to know your secret. Okay, this is a new start. I was watching Nicole Spohr, and she had shown this one, and I think she has since then FFO'd it and showed it. But it's called Cottontail and Company by Scattered Seed Samplers. And I just loved it. I thought it was so cute. So I got on Scattered Seed Samplers, and I bought that and something else. But because, you know, things can't travel by itself. So, and I'm stitching this on, this is 32 count milk, chocolate milk. And I don't know who the hand dyer is. I don't know what it stands for. It's chocolate milk though. I'll have to see who that is, and I'll put it down on the bottom of the screen. But I really don't need to show it. It's such a little start. That's it. That's my tea tiny start. But I thought it would be really pretty on this fabric. And I was really planning on getting a lot done, but I've kind of gotten out of the mood to stitch the bunnies now. So but I don't know. We'll see. But of course it won't be finished this year, but anyway, I got to start tea tiny, and it's once again just stuff that I had on hand that worked with it. Okay, and then the next two are new starts. You know, I've talked about it. I was in the Bitty Bowl Club from Pine Mountain. What are they called? Pine Mountain Designs last year. And you got the whole kit. You got, well, it came with everything but the floss. And so this was April's, last year's. And so I didn't get it stitched, and but I do, I have started it. But the way I'm doing it, I'm going to be able to leave it up all year round. because I did not put I have finished this, but I didn't put nest around it. I just left the nest like is. And I think, and it's on 16 count white Aida. Isn't that pretty? I love that. So I'm just going to make it into a simple pillow. And then I want to start on this little bag. And I can leave this up all spring. Because the bowl came when you first joined. You got that wooden bowl. Now, I did have a FFO for March with March. And I didn't show it. But I've got it right here. I'll just show it real quick. This was my finish for March's. Now, I just put that in a little frame. I had messed up sewing the pillow. Once again, it had the letters Luck in the corners, but I left it off. I thought that was pretty just like that. So I'll just put it in a little Dollar Tree frame that I painted. And then this was the bag finish. And so I had them displayed just in here. But the reason why I did this one this way, I can leave this up year round and just as a little filler. And so, yeah, I thought it turned out really pretty. So that's that one. And then this is my last one. And it is, I've got a new bag that I made and a new start. I started, well, I don't even know now if I'm really, okay. Emily, the Shady Grove Stitcher, and Carrie, I believe, is Red Velvet Quilts. They're doing a stitch along with the chart Dasher and Dancer from Hobby House Press. And I've seen so many people stitch it, and I just loved it. So when they started the stitch along, and I just love Emily's channel, both of them's channel. Emily is, she is a hoot, y'all. That's all I can say. She's a hoot. But I just like, oh, I'm going to join in. Now, they did have it broke up into parts, and they're way ahead. I mean, there's no sense in me trying. But I did start, and so, and I'll get some more work done on it, but I will never catch up. But this is the chart, but mine's going to look different. They have a model at the Shepherd's Needle where, and that's what I'm stitching mine like. The tree is green and the deers are brown and all of it's red. And it is so pretty. And also it's silks. So this is my first venture into silks. So I'm stitching this on, and it's a very measly start because I got into Springo. I haven't really touched it. But this is on 40 count Dusty Road. But these are the silks that I'm using. They're all Gloriana. And y'all, this is my first time with silks. And they're nice. They're very nice silks. I'm using Gloriana Rosewood, Gloriana Coffee Bean, and Gloriana Thistle Green. And I don't know if you can see with this lighting the modeling, but there's some very pretty modeling in this Thistle Green. But this is my start, and I'm using just one strand over 1/1. I think it's going to be very pretty when it's done. I love this fabric. It's kind of got a grayish, kind of a dirty look to it in a way. And I know that's the purpose because it's dusty, a dusty road. I really like it though. I think it's very pretty. So that's that. But I decided that I wanted to make a project bag for it. And I followed Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch tutorial because I was, now I have made several with my friend Sandy, but I did not have the measurements for it. And so Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, her tutorial. And it was very easy. And I'm very proud of it. I think I did a really good job, except this part I don't think I got the zipper in. It looks like it's coming loose, but I think it's going to be all right. The ones I've made before have little tabs that you sewed that zipper in. And I do think it does, like this one here. Here's another one that I've made with, this is using the one that's Sandy. And you have a little tab that you put there. And I do think it does give it a little bit more security. But I think next time I make it, I'm going to use this measurements. Because really, I just couldn't remember how you sewed it together. So I think I will put those little tabs. But I am very proud of it. I think it looks very pretty. This was some fabric that I actually got at a quilt store that's not too far from me. It's about 45 minutes east of me. It's called the French Seam. The French Seam is what it's the name of the store. And so I thought it was so pretty. Now, I don't go there often at all because I'm not a quilter. Most of my fabric I get is from Hobby Lobby. Used to be, I didn't go in Joann's a whole lot, but I will get remnant pieces on clearance at Hobby Lobby. Or just, that's where most of my fabric comes from. Or Walmart, even though I don't like getting it from Walmart, just the fact you can't ever find anybody to cut the fabric. But, and mine does not have a big selection, but I have gotten a couple pieces from there. But I just love that fabric. I thought it was so pretty. And this is actually a remnant piece here that came from Hobby Lobby that I thought looked really pretty with it. So, but yeah, that's my project bag I made. I've got some other material set out. I made this during, was it my Christmas? It was one of my, I think it was during Christmas break I made this. But, and so I set out more because I wanted to make more. But it takes me so long. The hard to me is cutting the fabric because I have a hard time cutting straight. And so that is the most difficult for me. Well, and sewing too, but really it just takes me a while to get the fabric cut. And so I run out of time. So, oh, wait a minute. I've got, do I have, let me see if I got it. Yeah, okay. I was looking for something. All right, so that is everything. Okay, so that is everything that I have worked on, stitched on. I hope that, you know, you see something in what I've worked on that gives you some inspiration or something that you would like to start. Now I will move on to my haul, and I will start real quick with what I got at Nashville Market. Let me move that out of the way. Let's see. These are the, well, I thought, oh, the one I started, I showed one of them that I started. I picked up Ladybug Picnic by Hands On Designs. And I'm going to start this in May. I believe Sandy was stitching with Sandy and Shelly with Keep On Stitching. I'll have to link her channel below. But their birthdays are in May, and we're going to start. They're starting this as a birthday start, so I'm going to join in because I just think it's so cute. But I'm not buying that fabric because I don't know. I just I've got some here that I think I can dye to make it work. I had dyed. This is an 18 count. I had dyed this for some Easter projects of mine. I just wanted it to be like a dusty rose. So I've got some pink in my Rick dye. So I'm going to just put some darker pink on this. And I think I can make it work. And who knows, this might be pretty with it on it. Just this light pink. But I am going to try to darken it up with some other pink. So that's what my plan is to use that instead of buying. Because I don't stitch a lot on pink, and I just don't want to. I just don't want to purchase it because I'm afraid I'll be stuck with extra fabric that I won't use. So then I got Coco's Garden by Teresa Kogut. And y'all, isn't that the cutest? Now you go on her website to get the finishing instructions, but I love this. And I just real quick want to show the book. Y'all probably have already seen it because I know I'm late showing my market. Look at the inside cover. Isn't that cute? Y'all, they're so well done. And then here's the front. You know, if you wanted to, when you're done stitching it, you could take this apart and put this in a pretty little frame for your summer and spring display. Stuff that you put out. I think that would make a pretty framed piece. So that's, and then I also picked up Hop into Spring by Brenda Gervais. And I picked up, along with the fabric, a daily reminder, which I know there's a stitch along going on with, is it Sully Stitches, Tara? She is doing this for her birthday start, and there we go. A lot of people are stitching it, but I want to finish some of my other bigger ones before I start it. Now I did buy the fabric and had the fabric, which is, I got 36 count Orbrel. I don't know how to say it, but it's beautiful. So I got the fabric for it. So I just got to get the flosses, but like I said, I've got several big pieces that I would like to get finished before I start this. But I thought it was really pretty. Okay, so that is all market that I got. Now that day when I was there, I don't think this was a market. Oh, I did get the flosses for Weeks and Classic Colorworks, but I've put them up. I saw this. It's called Cheer, a little spool kit and chart by the Paper Thread. And this is it. And you got paper to go with it. And then this is the spool. So it was a kit. And I thought it was too cute to pass up. So I bought that. All right, let's see. I also that day bought some Ween beans from 40 count Ween's beans. This is going to be used for my gingerbread house. It was through the Jingle Ball, Stacy Nash. It was at the gingerbread pin keep book or something. So cute. And I had signed up for the class and that just fell through. But I got the chart, but I didn't get the kit. And I was struggling finding some fabric that I liked. And so she happened to have it there that day. So I picked that up. One of my friends that I stitch with, that I've met through there, she's the one that said, hey, they got that fabric. So I was thankful that she told me about it. So, but that's it. I thought it was real pretty. So that was all that I got that day from the Shepherd's Needle. Now, my friend Sandy had gone to a retreat in California, and it was put on by Live and Die LA. And so I had never stitched on any of their fabrics, but I've seen hers. And so I was like, well, if you got time while you're there, if you'll FaceTime me, will you let me see what kind of fabrics they have, and I'll send you the money. And so that's what we did. And she picked up, excuse me, this is 40 count cave painting. I thought it was just really pretty, neutral. And also 40 count Salem. I'm trying to get some darker fabrics in my stash. And 36 count Stormy Gray. It's just a pretty gray, bluish gray. Isn't that pretty? It's real pretty. Also, I've got a limited, it was a retreat exclusive floss, but I've put it up. It was a real pretty blue. I really wish now I would have had her pick me up more than one. But when she was looking through, they had tubs with charts in them. And she was looking through it, and she said, oh, I want to show you this one. And it's called Sarah's House by Blackbird Designs. And so it was what made her, you know, of course, it's my name. That's what caught her attention. And so I had to get it, and I really love that. But come to find out, this is an out-of-print chart. I was watching Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, and she was showing it, that she had found it. I don't know where she found it, because this was the only one left at that they had at the Live and Die LA retreat. And she was talking about how it's an out-of-print chart. So, so yeah, I've got my first out-of-print chart. But that's it. I also had done a pre-order with Color and Cotton and had picked up 18 count denim bold. Thought that was just a real pretty blue. Yeah, and it's coming across really, was kind of worried with my ring light going out, but it's really true to color. Isn't that pretty? I think it's pretty. And then I had this out. This was from last month's Grace Knows fabric. It's Eeyore, and I get it on 36 count linen. I have not gotten April's yet, but that's Eeyore. I think that's real pretty. And then I've got just a few more charts and my thrift haul. I was watching Laura, Stitching by the Shore Laura, and she showed, it's by Durene Jones. They had this butterfly stitch along. And at first I wasn't going to join in, but when she showed her chart, I just fell in love with this. And so I got Butterflies and Flowers by Durene Jones. I went on her website, and it was actually put out in 2019, so it's an older piece. But I bought the Peacock Orange Sulfur one. This was my favorite. I just thought this was so pretty. So I'm going to join in. I'm going to be late to the party, and I don't know, I might have to order me, because this is full coverage. I don't think I've got, I'll have to look, because I've got an 18 count white, I believe. And this will be my first attempt with full coverage. But it does, looking at the chart, I think it's going to be fine. It's a lot of block stitching. It's not real heavy confetti. So, hold on. I had a phone call. So, I want to get this one kitted up as soon. I was looking at the flosses, and I think I have some. And I have some 18 count white. I'm hoping that it's a big enough piece. I love this. I want to get that one started. Well, while I was on Etsy, I have seen lots of people talk about the Artsy Housewife. And I have really liked everything that they've shown. So I picked up from her website on Etsy, her Etsy store, October Blooms. I thought this was so pretty. I just love her charting. I mean, I don't know. I love the colors, the design. So yeah, I thought that was really pretty. So I picked that one up. I also have gotten, these are all from Etsy, all too. I got from Needle Treasure Nooks. I saw somebody on Instagram post this. That was very cute. Carrot Express. Now, I will probably just do the rabbit and the carrot. Thought that was really cute. And I picked up Carrot Top by Not Forgotten Farms. I really had, because this is going to be a very quick stitch. I really had all intention of getting this one done, but I didn't. Isn't he cute? I just love that little rabbit. Isn't he cute? Now, and I got this from a new store on Etsy. think it's called to me, new store to me. TarHeel. I'll put the store below. But when I saw this, I had to get it. It's called Fur Babies 2. And the reason why I got it, right here it says, beware wiggle butts. My husband always says our Luke, who is our German Shepherd mix, now he's much smaller than a average German Shepherd, but he's got their personality. Now his ears don't point out, but he's got the personality. He looks like one. Got that, yeah, there's no doubt he's got German Shepherd in him. But he calls him the wiggle butt because he gets excited and that butt gets to shaking. And then when he runs, is how he tucks his butt. I don't know. It's so funny. But we call him the wiggle butt. So I got it for that. But I also have a friend that loves cats. And she's gotten 2 new kittens. And so I'm thinking about doing one of these for her. Oh, I got to get that. I also got from that store Heart and Hands Nativity Town. I did not do a pre-order or anything with this one, but I wanted to, but I just got it now. And because of the Biscornu, I want to make some more. And I saw this one, Erin Elizabeth's Autumn Biscornu, and I love that sunflower on top. I thought that was really pretty. So I've got that one. So that is all my haul, except for I want to show real quick my my little thrift haul. Like I said, I really enjoy going thrifting. We have a few places here. Well, I have Goodwill and Salvation Army, and then we have an antique mall, but she can be a little pricey sometimes, but I have found things there. But me and my husband went, there are several good ones in like the Benton Bryant area. So we had gone one day to some of those. And this down in Monticello too. I found this at Monticello. But I love this little basket. And it opens up. And I can either put a piece here, or I could, if I was creative enough, just cover it with a stitch piece or on the top. And I really thought that one I showed with the the strawberries in the USA, I think it will fit on here. But I thought this would be a cute finishing piece for it. So I picked that up. I also picked up this pretty little bunny. It's actually an Avon. So, and I paid like $6 or $7 for it, and I saw it going on eBay for like $30. So I thought, well, okay, you did pretty good with that one. But isn't it pretty? I thought it was different. So I thought that was pretty. And then I got this, I don't know, this was one that we got in one of them in Benton and Bryant. This cloche, this wire mesh cloche. I thought that would be so pretty to put some of my spring decor, summer decor in. So I got that. And also I found this old grater. And I thought, well, that would be pretty to put a cross-stitch piece on. Or right now, I just have it in my displays. I just have it on a shelf with some stuff. A picture and things like that I found. But I thought that was really pretty. Really cute. I've been looking for something like this. So I got that. Then I've got two more things to show you. I went into a little gift store we have here in town. And I went up to their 50% off area. Because otherwise they're kind of expensive. So when I gone up to the 50% area, y'all, I found these like primitive looking carrots. 50% off. Aren't those cute? So I've got those in my spring decor. So, see, and then here they are. So you can see them up close. And they came in a bag, so I got those. Then, now she wasn't on sale, but I had to get her. Look at this little rabbit here. Isn't she precious? So, now they had a bigger version, but I just got the small. Isn't she precious? So she's in my decor. Love her. So that's what I got. That's everything I've got to show. And so now I will talk about my giveaway. I am going to do a giveaway for a $25 gift certificate to the Shepherd's Needle. So I do ask that you are subscribed to my channel and that you are 18 or older. And please do not use the word giveaway or anything like that in the comments. What I would like for you to do is use the word, since Easter is tomorrow, use the word Easter in any way you want to in your comment. It doesn't matter. But yes, just that Easter is the word I will be looking for when I do my drawing. And whoever is the winner, you can either order online off of their, because I will give you the details on how to use it. You can either order online on their website, or you can call them, or if you happen to be local, of course, you can go in and use it. But yeah, I'd asked her, this is not any type of, I bought the gift certificates, what I'm trying to say. They did not, it's not a, they did not give it to me to, like, as a giveaway for my channel. I bought it. So, but I did want to promote them. I wanted to give people maybe that's not necessarily familiar with them a chance to learn about them and to use them. They're so sweet. That's why I said you can call them. They are so helpful, and I think you will it will be a good experience for you. So, so yeah, that's my giveaway. And so, I thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've gotten some inspiration from, what I've shown. I will, now move on to my books and my, some of the shows I wanted to talk about. I know I don't do that very often, but I like to hear about what other people are watching too. So now we'll move on to that. In case, and if you're not interested, I will see you later. Okay, now for books and TV shows, I'll start with the books. I finished The Women by Kristen Hanna. I finished The Women, and I really enjoyed it. And I actually physically read this one. Here lately, I've been listening to more than I read, but I actually read it. And it's her typical style of book that from what I've read so far ever. The main character, these are not light-hearted books. There's a lot of tragedy in them, and this one's no different. The main character is a nurse in Vietnam War, combat nurse, and so it does, and sometimes goes into kind of detail about what she sees. But that's the first part, is Vietnam. Then it moves to when she comes home and everything that she goes through, all the trauma, the readjustment back to, call it normal life. And this was a lot of their, what they were going through were not diagnosed yet. So they really didn't know how to treat these veterans either. So she goes through a whole lot. But in the end, they always have a good ending too. And this one does too. But I really enjoyed the book. But I have really enjoyed all her books. They're all kind of long, but they are more of a heavy read is what I call it. So I did finish that one. Now I did also finish the Meddler Murder series by June Devereaux. Now I listened to these. And these are just light-hearted, cozy mysteries. But I have really enjoyed them. And there's like 6 in the series. And in my opinion, they're clean. And in my opinion, the main characters are not too silly. I was watching Laura Stitching by the Shore, and she was actually gave a little book update. And she was talking about how she likes cozy mysteries. But a lot of times the characters, because they're, what I think she was saying, they try to be too funny or try to be, I don't know what all, but I called it silly. I call them, they're just too silly in my opinion. I can't get into the characters with some of them. She has the same problem I do. And she was recommending, I don't remember which ones, I'll link her video, but a series that she found that she was, and I think she was listening to them. And so, and I commented on her video. I was like, oh yeah, I have the same problem. But I think this one, I do like the characters in this book, these series. But like I said, there's 6, and I finished them. I was kind of sad to see them end, but that it ties it up. It has a good ending. So I did finish those. What else have I read? Oh, I had to put up The Light of Darkness by Chris Whitaker, or Darkness. I'll put the book up here. I could not get into it. I struggled with the characters. In my opinion, the language was just too much. Oh, I almost got through a video without that. I think they're selling down now. I was talking about that book, the Light of Darkness, I believe. I just struggled with the characters. They're to me were kind of unrealistic on what a 12-year-old girl would do. But it is about a boy that his name is Patch, because they call him Patch because he has a glass eye, and his mother makes him patches because when he was little, he thought he was like a pirate. And so mom made him patches, but he stops an abduction. There's a man that's murdering young girls, and he actually stops it, but he's kidnapped in the process. And so but he is released. They find him, but a lot of it's afterwards, the struggles him and his best friend go through, because neither one of them come through good home lives. And I just struggled with it. It had mixed, from what I saw on Goodreads, it had like 3-4 star reviews, but it was very much straight down the middle. People that loved it. The people that didn't, did not. And I fall in the ones that did not. But this is my opinion. If nothing wrong for everybody that did love it. We all had different tastes in books. And so that was, I did not finish that one. I put it up. I'm currently reading Kate Morton's The Forgotten Garden. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. It's a dual timeline. Actually, you're in 3 timelines. You're following a girl by the name of Cassandra, who's the present day main character. And she's researching her grandmother's history. Her grandmother had been found on the docks of a ship dock. And the ship's manager picked her up and took her in and raised them as their own child. And he tells her when she's turning 20 or something that she, is not theirs biologically. They had found them. And so when you go back, the dual timeline is, part of it is Nell, that's the grandmother, going back to find out more about her history. And then a character by the name of Eliza, who is a relation to Nell. And you find out about Nell's family through that. I'm enjoying it so far. I think I'm about halfway through. And so I really like Kate Morton's books. The only one I didn't care for was The Clockmaker's Daughter. It was very confusing to me. I struggled with that one. But I loved The Homecoming. That's the first one that's popping into my mind. I really liked it. And but I can't remember the other books I've read. I've read a couple more of hers. And so, but so far so good with this one. It's really piquing my interest, and I think I'm about halfway done. So my next Flosstube, I will be able to, I'll give you a full description, what I think about, review of the book. So, so that's really it for books. I have, now some of the shows that I've been watching, I've watched, I've got one more episode of Happy Face on Paramount Plus. This is, you're following it's a series. It's not a documentary series. It's a, TV series based on the podcast, and I don't know what the podcast is called, but it's the daughter of a serial killer. And the man's still alive. He killed several women in the 70s. And so it's based on her podcast. And so I really enjoyed that. That's really good. It has Dennis Quaid in it. But like I said, there's one episode left. And gosh, I can't think of the guy because he's still alive. He's still in prison. Keith, I keep wanting to say Jefferson, but it's Jerrison. That's not the last name. But I really enjoyed that. We've been mostly watching softball and baseball. But I did watch, what's something else? I love Father Brown. I'm caught up on all of Father Brown. I finished this last series and season. I just finished the season that came out. And I also love Heartland. Now, Heartland is starting a new season, I think, next week, if I'm not mistaken, or did it already start? But yes, I really love Heartland. And so I've got some other shows. I wish I would have made note of them that I want to watch. But there's a few things on Netflix that I want to watch. Dang, I wish I would have made note of them. I just, when I started filming, right before I sat down to film, I was like, well, I'll talk about some shows I've watched. And now I can't remember some of the ones that, but Laura was talking about, it's called The Residence. I want to watch it. She said if you like Murders in the Building, you should like this one. I think she watched it on Netflix. So I'm going to watch that. But let me know what you're watching. I think that I love to know what other people are watching. So that's all I got to share with you today. And I will see you next time.